Hello everybody, welcome to the Hacienda. Rivet here. Today we're making something delicious, but then we're always making something delicious. Today we're making beef carbonnade, Carbonnade de Boeuf, as it is said in French, and I hope I pronounced it properly. This recipe comes from the cold, northern, foggy regions of France that border Belgium and Germany, where they grow cattle, root vegetables, and brew beer. Any good, dark, heavy, rich beer will do. Alright, what we have here is half a stick of butter and a generous splash of olive oil. And what we got here is about 5 or 6 pounds of rump roast, sliced against the grain into strips. Now you can use any tough cut of meat, chuck roast works well. Alright, once the meat browns, and you want it to brown heavily. For the first 20 minutes or so, it just steams. But you want to let it continue to cook until it gets like this. I hope you can see it. It gets really brown. I mean literally brown. You don't want to cook it till it's just gray. You want the meat to get brown. That's the carbonnade, the carbonade version. You're really darkening the meat and getting that nice crust on it, because that crust, that browning, that caramelization of the meat, the Maillard reaction, is what's going to give you the flavor of the finished dish. So now that the meat is almost ready, I'm going to take it out, set it off to the side, and then we're going to put that baby together and slap it in the oven. We're going to deglaze that pan. You've got all those nice brown stuck bits from the onions and the beef, and we're going to deglaze it with some vinegar. We're going to use about a half a cup of vinegar over high heat. And we're going to scratch all those nice brown bits out of there, and this is going to make partially a glaze, which is going to give this a delicious flavor. By putting those onions we browned, remember? We're going to layer them in the bottom just like this, because what we want to do is create a nice layer of onions to keep the meat off the bottom of the pan, or pot, at this point for the initial part of cooking. The meat that we browned, we're going to put that directly over the onions. On top of that, we've got that 1 clove of garlic that we've smashed and peeled. That goes on there. A generous tablespoon of salt and a generous teaspoon of coarse ground black pepper. Okay. The third onion that we browned after the discs goes on top of that, like so. Usually Mrs. Rivet peels all the little leaves off the stems. I don't have the patience to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm throwing the time like this. We can always pick the sticks out later. Okay, first thing we do, we got anywhere between a quarter, half cup of flour. We're just going to sprinkle like that on top. Okay. Then we have, 5, 6 bay leaves. We're just going to throw in there, and that's good. And then, of course, the 2 most important things. 2 bottles of Guinness beer. Okay? Now, at this point, I'm turning it on to high. We're going to get this liquid hot and simmering. Once it starts to bubble, I'm going to put the lid on it, and into the oven it goes at 300 degrees, and it'll cook there for about 3 hours. Alright, here we go. 4 hours. Let's lift this lid. See what this baby's looking like. Oh, smell is delicious. Yeah, I started at 3 hour mark. This is certainly smelling rich, delicious, and awesome. My God. Look at that.